It's not about spaceships.
The Duel of the Fates. The Duel of the Fates.
It's not about spaceships.
Oh, hi. I didn't see you there. My name's Jason. It's my buddy Rob. He likes coffee. He likes coffee.
It's
long walks.
It's called coffee for a reason. Because if you inhale it, you're gonna cough.
Long walks on the beach. Who doesn't, right? Today we are finishing. I don't know if we're finishing. We'll have to see. But we are
Wishful thinking.
getting into the Duel of the Fates script. I think it's our 5th part today.
Or is it the Duel of the Takes?
Right?
The hot takes.
Those hot takes. Yeah, but we are not breaking it down 100% serious, but we're reading it, and then we are the analysis is serious. But
Sure.
One thing I wanted to I don't remember how this leaked out or when this one leaked out, but I wanted to mention, and I keep meaning to every episode, that my copy is called Black Diamond. And Black Diamond was the actual PDF file, was the code name for episode 9 when it was going down. Yeah. And I was just like, I wonder if that was just named that by somebody, who leaked it, or if that actually had any kind of like, I don't know, official is probably not the right word, but any significance whatsoever.
When I was when we were first starting development on Crash 4, the project name was Lava.
And
it was like Lava. And it's like, wow, I get to work on a project name, right? Like
yeah.
Ooh, like the Dreamcast was Katana, right? Like the GameCube was Dolphin.
Right.
My birth was oh shit.
Oh shit.
No, I'm pregnant.
Mine was Project Accident. Yeah.
Project Birthday Party didn't go so well as planned, right? Whatever.
Yeah. Today's my birthday. Believe it or not.
Whoa,
thank you.
Really?
Yeah. I'm an
How
old
did I
man.
not get it? You know what? Because you're not on Facebook. That's the only way I know birthdays now.
I'm on Facebook. We're just not friends for some reason. But I don't really use Facebook that much. The only reason why I actually have a Facebook account is for this show, so that the people who watch Facebook can see it, and the Making Star Wars page on there. Other than that, I'm not really a fan of it anymore.
I like it when people tell me it's evil. I'm like, all the social media platforms are evil. I just got to earn a living. I don't know what to do about it. If you want me to help support legislation to monitor this stuff, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
But what am I supposed to? They're all evil. Tell me how Microsoft is doing us any favors while you play Xbox.
Sure. Yeah. Nothing is free. That's just a fact of life I've learned in these 42 stupid years. And
even Skywalker Ranch. Well, happy birthday, Mr. Wars.
Oh, thanks, George. And
Maybe one day you'll sell this podcast at Disney.
Right. Revan Winter Soldier says, yo, dogs. I want to say hi to everybody real quick who is in the chat so far. Oh, hey, what's up, Revenge Guy? What's up, boyos? Yeah, Revenge Guy is doing the Duel of the Fates animated version that will be coming one of these days. So make sure you guys follow his channel and check it out. Revenge Guy's
too nice to. He's too nice. Sorry, go ahead.
No, he's all. I'm too old for Facebook.
He's younger than all of us too. Right?
Yeah, you're like the youngest guy we know, I think.
Yeah. He's too nice to be called a Revenge Guy, right? Revenge Guy is he's nicer than us. We're meaner than Revenge
Way
Guy.
nice. We are way more vengeful than Revenge Guy. I like.
What does that make us?
I think he's just an episode 3 fan, like a super episode 3 fan.
Not to make everything about me, but it's about me now, right? So
yeah, right.
You ever gonna get into one of those relationships where and everything's about you, huh? I'm like, I'm an artist. Yeah, everything's about me. That's there's nothing more egotistical than being an artist. I'm embettering no one's life other than impressing myself every time I create something, right? It's not like being a doctor or we're even working when I worked at Pizza Hut, I did more for humanity than I do now.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I was with somebody who it was pretty rad actually, but she was so sensitive to somebody being narcissistic at all, to such a degree that I started to feel like I was invisible, because I just couldn't say, I couldn't use the word me. If she would pick up when you used me in a sentence, and I was just like, all right, we are all a little bit narcissistic here, but this is too much for me. I couldn't take it.
Yeah, you know, I had one once that taught me the lesson of being a nicer person, but there came a point where it was like, okay, I have to exist too. like
Yeah.
I'm hungry. I'm hungry.
Yeah.
You know? Or we're at Disneyland, my day. Like, I don't know.
Well,
Jason's birthday, his day.
You know what they don't like when they're throwing out narcissism accusations and you say, well, be more interesting then. They don't like that, it turns out.
I wonder if Siegfried and Roy ever got in those arguments. I often wonder about Siegfried and Roy, like what their life was like, you know? So when I was in the army, we were taking a trip to, you know, there's a castle near the Austrian German border where the Cinderella castle is based off of. There's a real castle there.
Okay.
And there's a military like resort. There's like a resort that the military always goes to. It's like Kimsey, or I used to call it Chimsey or Kimsey, and they're like, that's somewhere in South Korea. I'm like, it's something like that. But you know me with words, names. We went down there on a bus, and on the way, there was this bus stop. So we get out there. I go get a carbonated water, right? Because it's Germany, right? And a schnitzel. And that's no joke. They had schnitzel. And
it was actually just Wiener Schnitzel. All of it is Wiener Schnitzel.
I wish. And so I'm walking around, and there's this really nice room overlooking these mountains. So I go in there, and then I look that this room is filled with stuff, and it's all Siegfried and Roy.
Yeah.
I mean, it was an entire shrine to Siegfried and Roy.
Just of Siegfried. Oh, before I forget, I went to the Mandalorian set today.
Oh.
And it's not like a crazy huge development of any kind. But you know, people like to see it, so I'm gonna throw that up on there. Wait, did I just crash my browser?
No, but you're out of sync.
Okay. So how do we do? Okay, we stop that one, and then I forgot I did this. That's why I'm a little sleepy today. That drive sometimes, it's not that far, but you hit that.
Siegfried and Roy would have this ready.
dude. Siegfried and Roy got to be like, man, it's a lot being with you all the time.
Yeah, which one's the most narcissistic? You know, the one with the cape or the one with the tiger? Like, we all own tigers. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. So this is what we've been looking at, but they are extending it. And what I find interesting about it in general is that they are making these like really tight streets. So when I'm looking at it, and there's a lot I can't capture on camera really well, but you could tell with the naked eye.
How was that not the third Naked Gun movie?
The naked eye.
And he got like psychic powers, like the third eye.
No, but these streets that they're making are way tighter, closer together than they've ever made them before. So this is probably Navarra. Could be a new place there or a different part of the city that we've seen so far. The reason why I'm like talking about that though is I think it's going to be shot a little bit differently, because this looks like it's going to have to use like almost the handheld cameras, and you know, does that change things for like how populated the coverage is and stuff like that? But it's just making me think that while we've seen this place in 2 seasons now, I think this 3rd season it might feel differently. You know, I just a hunch. I mean, for all I know, they're just building all these close quarter sets right now, and then they're going to pull it all apart and put it back to how it always was. You know, you never know unless you work for them.
They're just trying to confuse the paparazzi.
Yeah,
the paparazzi.
Papa. Also, I will have an Indiana Jones scoop this week, but I am not reporting it yet for reasons. Just accept its reasons.
You know, folks, he doesn't even tell me anything off air. He goes, "No, you're not. I've trusted too many people." Like,
I was just like, dude, I don't want to put you in the position to break my heart.
you're gonna sell a shirt with what if I just put the spoilers on a shirt and just sell it right away?
We would be rich. Maybe sued, but definitely
See,
rich.
you're gonna release spoilers, but only as shirts. You want the spoilers? You gotta buy the shirt. It's on the shirt.
Yeah. Yeah, so what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, but basically, Revenge Guy. He directs those Star Wars audio comics and
The serious ones.
the serious ones
Yes.
when they adhere to his vision, which we demand they do. So check out his work over there too. And man, I'm pretty excited for Indy, honestly. I can't lie. There's been it's kind of sucked having to be quiet about Indy the last couple of weeks, but hopefully we can talk more. I'm able to talk about like the tip of the iceberg coming up here. So
Iceberg's confirmed. For Indy
Titanic.
Fire.
Indiana Jones is on the Titanic.
Well, it's gonna have a flat in the 60s. Like,
No, it's in a flashback. He floats. He's
it's how he was conceived.
yeah.
You know, the dad just threw the mom in the ocean. His dad is actually Billy Zane.
What year was the Titanic? Do you have any idea?
1912.
1912. So Indy was 12. Okay. Yeah. But anyways, should we get into the script?
Yeah, let's do it.
Rick says to give it to us today. Can't do that, Rick. If I did it today, there wouldn't be any more. We gotta play the game by the rules. Okay. Black Diamond, episode 9. Which, by the way, I was at Scum and Villainy one night, and the people working on the film just kept talking about Black Diamond all night, and I knew what it was, and that was fun.
Ooh.
Yeah. I didn't get anything from
I've never been to
directly.
Scum and Villainy.
Yeah, it's cool. I would say in a weird way, not to make a case for them not being able to exist or something. It ruins that Star Wars bar at Galaxy's Edge. I'll tell you that much, because it's just a better bar. and it has the and once you have a drink or two, they feel like the same place. But one you can hang out in for all night or for a few hours and have more than 2 drinks and they're more reasonably priced and so on. So yeah, I'm not in love with the Galaxy's Edge bar. It has promise. It has cool stuff to it, but it's a dream less realized than could be, I think.
They could sell spiked mac and cheese though for the adults.
Right. Right. So, all right. So exterior Mortis. Oh, remember last episode there was like all these flashbacks and stuff, and it was wild. All right. I was about to recap the last one, but I haven't done that so far, so I'm not going to start.
We're on the planet that's like what dreams may come. It's like aging through seasons and sped out, right?
Yeah. It's Mortis. Exterior Mortis, Eastern Plateau, day. Kylo's silencer lands in the clearing of dead trees, no leaves on the branches, covered in snow. He looks up at the mountain ahead. Visibility is low. A natural stone bridge over a deep precipice. Tall, granite on either side. That's granite, right? Granite. On either side, vaguely shaped into primitive faces, like this one. It feels like a
cool.
Pretty neat.
Yeah.
A whisper on the wind swirls around him, fluttering his cape in the air.
Pocahontas.
The force is strong here.
Yeah.
He hears all the songs in the wind or whatever the fuck that.
Tia Carrere, where are you?
He journeys on. Cut to exterior Coruscant, Imperial Boulevard, dawn, empty, silent. R2 and 3PO emerge from the abandoned building. 2 small figures swallowed by the desolate urban landscape. R2 beeps. C3PO. Am I 3PO or you?
You're 3PO.
I
go
agree, R2.
beep bop boop.
Okay.
I'm R2.
Okay.
I agree, R2. We may not survive this time.
Or, you know, I wish we had that you know that voice modulator they give FBI witnesses. That'd be a
Yeah.
great 3PO voice.
We have Anthony Daniels here. He's currently in witness protection program on a trip to Mexico. He witnessed a cartel murder, and
It's why he got the red arm. It's the blood from the victim that they murdered. It's all over his arm, and now he's in protection.
yeah, he was forced to what's that guy's name?
Giancarlo.
No. The main like gangster dude who like all the like Bonda guys have to like write songs about.
Chapo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why
do I know that name out of all the fucking names?
Anthony Daniels was had to do a tap dance routine in honor of El Chapo to show his allegiance. They didn't like it. They shot pistols at his feet, and now he's in protection.
Yeah, but they had two other 3POs, and they called it the 3CP arrows. That's so dumb.
Tres 3POs. Okay.
Tres 3P arrows. So stupid.
Falls over them both. A battalion of First Order transports descend through the morning mist. They
just want to say, a shadow falls.
The shadow falls. That was the title of episode 9 before Kathleen Kennedy fucked it up.
Thanks, Super Shadow.
Releasing an army of brute troopers.
Ooh.
Uh-oh, now we got more new troopers, right? This is the first of the brute troopers we've heard?
They're the ones that wear too much cologne.
Okay. Thick, muscular, mercenary enforcers. A source just messaged me saying, yes, do not report the Indie Scoop today. Don't listen to him. Don't worry. I'm not. I promise.
Thanks, Frank Marshall. Stick with the show, Frank.
Frankie, baby, I got you. Don't worry. She ain't going to know, all right? What Kathy don't know, Kathy don't have to worry about.
Kathy's watching everything like the guy of Sauron, you know?
He's all, Kathleen Kennedy's gonna make me sleep on the couch. Phantom Menace ain't always wrong.
Thick, muscular mercenary, like he's like a sitcom dad. Muscular mercenary enforcers. Ooh, this is getting hot. Chrome armor and mask, reminiscent of Phasma. These guys make the stormtroopers look like the neighborhood watch. This ain't your dad's Star Wars.
You just read that line in Corey Feldman's voice, and it makes a lot more sense.
Do it. You can do it.
I can't do Corey Feldman's voice.
No?
No, I wish I could. I've been watching The Burbs.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, he has such a unique, like when he laughs, it's like like it's like not even he has the most unique laugh I've ever heard.
Yeah, he's lucky he was born attractive, or that would just be a really fucking nerdy ass laugh. But it works for him because he was like he was on Teen Beat magazine.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't do it. I always just go, yeah, I don't know, it's the beta. Like he doesn't.
Yeah,
he has a gravel to his voice that's so unique.
Yeah, his Lost Boys voice is like he's like an action hero kind of guy. Like he's like Snake or something, but it's not right, and that's what makes it weird.
He even has the bandana. I never thought about that.
But he's like Rambo or something. It's like that's like I guess the way I interpret the joke is it's these two comic book nerds who think they're Rambo. But yeah, all right. Interior tenement block Dawn. I wonder what the neighborhood watch at this tenement block is like, because you might sound stupid saying what you just said right now. The brute troopers bark orders, flashing lights and weapons as families are forced from their homes. A horrified, waist-high Chadra fan begs for mercy. Chadra fan?
Big night.
Yeah, those are those little bat dudes in the cantina, I think.
Oh, okay.
You know, the one that goes, meek, you know, like wants to drink. Yeah, whatever it does. A brute trooper.
Go on, sorry.
A brute trooper shoves his rifle into the alien's stomach, doubling him over. a trio of infants well from their.
Oh, did he just? StreamYard's having fun today, folks.
Oh no! Come on, StreamYard. Don't lose us, StreamYard. Don't lose us.
You want maybe you want to kill
Hey.
your video.
Yeah.
Try killing your video.
Okay. Let me see. Let me stop my cam. All right. Is my sound coming out all right?
Yeah, you sound great.
All right. Yeah. So the answer is no, Rick. It ain't happening. Thanks, Florian. How you doing, man? I appreciate it. Mark Hamilton says, "What's your take on Tor Valum? How can he be if rule of two?" Yeah, that's my problem with him. And like you do hear that one line where he goes like, "Oh, I'm no Sith." So it's
Well,
like
it's more like the rule of few now,
well,
isn't it? Isn't it, JJ?
when I was reading into that moment when he says that, and I didn't sit on the show because it slipped my mind. We went to a different place. What I think it may have been insinuating is that the Jedi weren't wrong. They did extinguish the Sith, and Tor Valum told the secrets, the legends, whatever you want to call it, to Palpatine or Plagueis, I should say, probably. And then that's how it got started again. So I think it was almost implying that there was a disruption in the
or that
lineage.
he's older, because like the rule of two wasn't there from the beginning. There was a bunch of Sith. They just all murdered one another, and then they had to go with two.
Yeah.
So he's just older than that, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he just sat back and let them kill one another.
Right. Yeah. So it's like, what do you make of that? I don't know. Yeah, but I'm not crazy about how complicated that is. And I know from the prequels how it goes when you introduce anything complicated. I mean, we had our complicated stuff in the sequel trilogy too, but
well, was it the Rise of Skywalker art of, or was it The Last Jedi where there's a concept of Luke talking to like a Sith ghost on?
Yeah, that one, there was that in The Force Awakens, but that was just a blue sky.
Right, but like that, it could have been a Sith ghost.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. That could be corporeal in some sense. It didn't have to be alive, right? Like
for sure. Yeah, and I mean in the Mortis or not Mortis in the what's it called, Moribund episode. I always think of the Jacques Brel song, who's an amazing French artist, by the way. If you don't know him as an American, I love him. He's great. The guy will like sing and cry in the camera, but it's fucking real. Yeah, it's crazy. But anyways, he wrote Seasons in the Sun, that the original version of that before it was translated. But I think it's called like Moribund or La Moribund or something like that. Le Moribund. And so I always wondered if Lucas just heard the French word and came up with Moribund from that, or if he is also a fan,
Well, it would have been interesting if the Force ghosts, if they had, it would have been interesting to get them to actually explain what that is, But if the Sith equivalent was more like a poltergeist where it haunts, I mean? It's not something that's transitioning to the light. It's something that's clinging to life. And you know what I mean? Like something more.
Yoda encounters Darth Bane, but then the ghost shit talks him, and then he straight up says, "You're not real anymore.
You're not real, Yoda."
No, the other way. Yoda's like, bitch, make you are. So, well, I should team up with a Revenge Guy in one of his streams, and everybody could be like, look at him carrying Grandpa. All right. Oh, thanks, Santa. Yeah, good show today, by the way. We only totally made your chat unreadable on your show for another day. I'm trying to keep it on track. I do my best, but I'm cheap about jokes, and if there's a joke to be made, I can't not say it. I'm compulsive about it. I'm sorry. No,
I feel like you're even more reserved than I am. Like,
well, when I am, I guess, the moderator or whatever, then I'm like cognizant of it. But if you were like sort of doing the moderation, I would be so annoying to you. You'd be like, how do I keep this guy on topic? But yeah, but that's where I was going anyways with the Moribund stuff. is that it's they kind of did do it, and they are kind of acknowledging the existence of that stuff in this script, which I both love. Like I said, I heard it was a very superficial connection. They were like, what's like this? And people were like, oh, in Clone Wars there's Mortis, in Clone Wars there's Moraband. And then that's like, okay, there we go, we got it now.
Oh, so Mortis is in Clone Wars, so that ruins my Rick and Morty theory.
Oh yeah. I was thinking of the other part when you added the other part. I was like, yeah, maybe that was why. But yeah, no, Mortis is a very important arc in the Clone Wars where Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Ahsoka are on a mission. All of a sudden, they are in like nowhere space, and they go to this planet where there's basically a father who represents balance, a daughter who represents good, and a son who looks like Revan, or not Revan, but like, you know, little evil Sith Lord looking dude. And then he's evil, and they basically kind of like have some weird connection in their relationship to what Anakin is doing, what the Chosen One's doing. And yeah, it's a super trippy, it's almost like a Twilight Zone arc of the Clone Wars. Ahsoka dies in it and is resurrected by the daughter, gives her life and brings her back. And I have a feeling, based on Filoni doing the Ahsoka show, that we may see some more of that kind of stuff come back in and maybe have some like relevance. And when you watch the episode of The Mandalorian where you see Ahsoka, you'll see an owl that appears first.
Oh,
and
owls!
Yes, yeah, it's true. Yeah, we're talking about on the UFO show a couple of times. We talked about how there's this connection between owls and UFOs, and but yeah, the owl represents the sister, kind of like in Green Knight when I think it's Homegirl who becomes Winifred. I think who becomes the fox, probably, depending on your interpretation. I think the
Emphas Rees or Emphas
Nest.
Infant
Yeah.
Nest.
Infant Nest.
Infest Winter Soldier villain. I can't remember her name in Winter Soldier.
But yeah. So, oh, Ride's here again. No, I'm still doing the show.
I think that's later. Like her most like she normally plays villains, right? But like that was a good role. Like I don't know why they keep making her a villain. Like, she's supposed to play a villain in Willow, right?
No, she's actually in Solo, she's technically truly a good guy. You just don't get it. She comes off as the antagonist to the criminals, but she's actually good. She's working for the rebels. And then in Willow, she's the best friend of like the chosen one, so to speak. So yeah, so she's going to be a hero in that.
I was just like, I hope they're not giving her the villain roles, because you know how casting directors get, like, they have an interesting look, make them the villain. Like, no, don't. Like, yeah, I like her as an actress. I really do.
Yeah, no, she's easy on the old eyeballs, and she seems cool. So it's like a good person to be a hero in these shows. And I hope Emphas Nest gets picked up again into other stuff.
She has a natural way of delivering lines that I feel like if they had made, like, I know it's a weird analogy, but if they were doing like a American Graffiti like movie where people were playing like just normal folks, like she'd fit in well. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Like, there is kind of something that's happened in casting over like the last 20 years, I would say. Like, when you watch a movie from the 70s, people are truly ugly. And sometimes they're ugly, but like actually like attractive or beautiful or unique looking. Like, for instance, like look at Rutger Hauer. Imagine if you tried to do a remake of any Rutger Hauer movie, what the guy would look like. Rutger Hauer is an extraordinary good looking man, but he looks fucking weird. Like, he looks real and unique at the same time. And like, that's where I feel like Mark Hamill falls into that space, but Hayden Christensen represents more of the modern casting look. It's almost like a melodrama teen TV show look for people. Like,
I was going to say, it reminds me of the kind of casting you do for Saved by the Bell.
Yeah, it's like ABC Family looking people all the time. And the problem, I think, is when you get them all together, you lose. Like, if there's just one, it's fine. But when you put them all together, authenticity is lost, I feel like.
Well, that's why Luke Perry stood out on 90210, because he was only like semi-normal looking person on there. Right?
And he was 47.
And he was 47. Look, I know we like to goof. Well, you know, they're all old, and I'm like, they're all old on every show. Like, Welcome Back, Kotter, they're all like 32.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. But yeah, so yeah, it is. Thanks, Rick. Thanks, Mr. Lopez. How you doing? Always good to see you on the old show. Yeah, Mora follows her everywhere.
And I haven't gotten to. We'll get into the script in a second, but I just got a question before I forget about it. How did Lucas feel about Happy Days?
Yeah, I've never actually heard him. I've heard it acknowledged around him and stuff like that, but I haven't actually ever heard him actually talk straight up about it.
I mean, did he not have a case to sue Mel's? I mean, I don't know. Like, it's just so on the nose.
I don't think you get to. I don't think you get to call Americana something. I don't think you're allowed to put. And Mel's was like real places. So yeah, I don't think so. But it's like very clear that you don't get Happy Days without George Lucas. Without George Lucas, you don't get the Buddy Holly video. Without the Buddy Holly video, you don't get Weezer, which did 2 good albums, and then it all went downhill, and it hurts every time. I listen to every record like it might be good, and I get really mad about it, even after all these years.
I feel like if I give you any subject, within 3 tries, you could link it back to Weezer. And just derail that thought into your own agenda.
Yeah. And Weezer, your Inner Sandman cover sucks. Stop doing it like that. Okay. Is Mariah her demon or Pokemon? But yeah. In Communion, I think you're right. I think that owls were a thing, and they always mention that, like, owls, that people see owls, and that there's been people who think that they see owls, or that have suggested, which is a bit far out, that aliens appear to be owls in this like tricking of the mind kind of thing. But that shit's wild. I don't know, but I'm just telling you some shit I heard. All right, let's get back to the old script. So a few nearby stormtroopers look at one another, disturbed by the violence. Next level vicious. The brute troopers who frighten citizens into prison craft. The brute troopers push frightened citizens into prison crafts. Children are separated from their parents, herded into transports en route to the conditioning camps. They scream, reaching through steel bars as the crafts rise. R2 and 3PO watch in horror as it plays out around them. So like this kind of stuff, like I've read the script a few times now, and whenever I see these scenes, I go, man, these moments could be truly like, wow, so sad, hard to watch, heavy for Star Wars. But then I could also see them putting some like, little fat purple aliens with stubby legs. They go, oh, and you're just like, oh yeah, okay, we don't really give a shit. Like
not the mama.
Yeah, like when you imagine it's like, like people in World War II getting rounded up in horrible ways or something, you're like, oh, it's really sad. But then when you imagine it's like Grimace from the McDonald's commercials, you're like, yeah, whatever. So like,
given Trevorrow is able to put horror into those Jurassic World movies, in moments, I think he would have played this more serious.
Yeah. And I think so too. But I also wonder if at some point they would have been like, this is too much, lighten it up. But anyways, but since it never happened, we get to interpret it however we want. So choose your own adventure. So R2 and 3PO watching horror. C-3PO, I can't watch. How horrible. R2 beeps melancholy. C-3PO continued, we'll never find Master Finn now. So that's my Richard Dreyfuss interpretation had he been 3PO.
I wish I could do Luke Owen. I mean, well, generally speaking, but his voice,
Yeah, I always meant to like look this up. Years ago in high school, I had to read a biography on somebody, and I was like, oh, I don't want to read any of these. And then my teacher's like, I have one on Harrison Ford. Will you read that? And I said, you got it, toots. So she brings it to me the next day, and I read it, and she it has this moment where, if I remember correctly, and this could, in this biography, it could have been told incorrectly, you know, for all I know, it was just garbage, but that Richard Dreyfuss cuts in front of the line at while they're making American Graffiti, probably.
I believe it.
And he cuts in front of the line and he goes, "Hey, bud, back of the line." Richard Dreyfuss looks at him and then talks to the person who then proceeds to like take care of him. And supposedly he throws him through a window. And that's what that's what this said, right? Well,
Wait, the guy, the bouncer at the cafeteria threw Harrison Ford through a window, or Harrison Ford threw the bouncer through a window?
Harrison Ford threw Richard Dreyfuss through a window.
Harrison Ford through Richard Dreyfuss. Now I need this movie to get made.
But then I hear, or then I read that they eventually patch things up, right? And then I always wondered at the time, is that maybe why he wasn't C-3PO in the end? Like, did that have anything to do with, you know, we have Harrison Ford here, we're not going to put these guys together, bad idea, let's not deal with it. But then years later, I'm watching Conan O'Brien, and Conan O'Brien, I believe it was Conan O'Brien, and he has an interview with Ford, and Ford talks about how he picked him up while he was drunk and threw him off a balcony into a pool. So either way, we have Harrison Ford throwing Richard Dreyfuss
off a balcony,
off of
like the "I am a golden god" kind of move, right? From
into a pool. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so I like to imagine both stories are true. That the first story wasn't misunderstood and didn't get through the rumor mill. That at first he throws him through the window, they make up, and then he gets drunk and throws him into the pool. Like,
look. If we get Dreyfuss into Indy 5, there's a chance we could complete the trilogy.
Yeah.
What can he throw him through next? You know, a birthday cake for Jason, right?
That'd be great.
Yeah, some bunch of anti-war commies, right?
So sludge water spurts out of, sewer underground day. Sludge water spurts out of multiple chutes into a gelatinous sewer cake of repulsive, mysterious contents. Finn jets out of a chute and splashes down, sputtering. Finn. A pack of sewer womp rats feed on the refuse encased in the gelatinous mass. One approaches and sniffs, hideous whiskers brushing his face. By the way, I am of the mindset that you don't show womp rats because Luke Skywalker shot them like a psychopath. And if you see them, it's going to make that moment be like, what is that dude's fucking issue? What a weirdo. Well,
they already showed him in the special edition when they enter.
Yeah, that's true.
But it would have been funny if he's just like, look, if I did my own edit of the special edition, the only change I would make is right when you see that womp rat, it gets shot right off camera.
Yeah.
And Luke goes, suck it! As they drive into town.
He's like, I'll shoot the women and the children. So that brushes his face. Finn tries to dislodge his arm from the gel. Finn continued,
"Hey, get away!" Ah!
It takes a lick of his face before he can pull an arm out and swat it away. The womp rats scatter. Then he sees why the rats scattered. The colossal Gryok, a white eyeless larva, the width of the tunnel it's emerging from. It feeds on the sewage, gaping mouth, slowly sucking, it's getting hot, gelatinous mass into its body. Finn continued.
Oh no. Oh no.
Finn dislodges himself enough to get stuck again. The guy, Gryok, closes in, slow as the sludge he's stuck in. This is the worst of bad nightmares. The Gryok jaws open, dripping saliva, teeth like knives. Just as Finn is about to get eaten by this thing, a hatch above him opens. It's pouring light. It's Dade! Dade, give me your hand! Finn grabs the kid's hand and pulls himself up into the hatch just as the Gryok chomps down. Interior Sewer tunnel day. Finn collapses, shaking, traumatized for life. Finn.
That was so many disgusting things all at once.
Dade. I've seen worse. Offers a hand. Dade. Finn.
Just one name?
Dade. What's wrong with that, Finn? Finn.
You know me.
Dade. We've been tracking you since you landed. Finn.
What? What? We?
A distant screeching sound. Wah. Finn continued.
What was that? What?
Dade. You don't want to find out. Come on. Dade shows Finn his resistance ring. Dade continued. Trust me. Exterior underground tunnel day.
It's
Finn,
the Dakota ring from Christmas Story.
yeah. They actually sell that at Galaxy's Edge. It looks kind of neat. Finn follows Dade down a light tunnel, boots splashing in the shallow water. Light up ahead. Dade. First Order purged a 10-mile radius around the capital after the galaxy went dark. Took most able bodies to the conditioning camps. Finn.
Did anyone escape?
Dade. Just us. Dade opens a rusty door to reveal interior abandoned underground prison day. Hundreds of compartment-like dwelling units connected by catwalks to a central control tower. Living here, 1,000 escaped citizens aged 12 to 60.
Oh.
Finn is stunned. Finn?
How many people are down here?
Dade? 10,000, maybe more. Finn?
Do you have any weapons?
Dade? Whole city's got weapons. That's what we're afraid of. A million of us rise up. The First Order's finished. Finn lets the idea burrow deep. Finn?
Yeah, you're right.
He's caught up. Fervent, brave, Finn continued.
This revolution starts here, right now.
Dade? Sure. All we need is ships, weapons, an army. Finn looks out at the massive underground cavern of humanity. 1,000 faces waiting for a leader. Finn.
We have one.
Finn eyes the old prison command tower in the center. Interior prison command tower day. Finn kicks open the door and fires up the comm system. He looks out at the downtrodden faces. Finn.
Hello. My name is Finn. I bring a message from the Resistance.
He should have wrapped it like, my name is Finn and I'm bringing a message. It is from the
I'm here to say Finn is great in every way.
And all these other MC suckers need to bounce. So, an older woman exits her cell, tired and worn, kept down by this war since the Rebel Alliance days. I like to imagine this is the woman from the end of Rise of Skywalker who asked Rey's name. This is like her other role, but she's like, oh.
She makes her way.
But then they're like, okay, she was so great, we got to keep her. No, okay, so Finn continued.
The First Order rules by fear. They build ships to intimidate us, wear masks to frighten us, but they're the ones who are scared.
So he's really like, the First Order rules by fear. They build ships to intimidate us.
Follow the bouncing ball. The bouncing droid. The BB fate. No, the BB hate. The BB.
Oh, that's his new haircut, the BB fade. But
the BB break dance. The BB break.
Yeah. The BB Breaking Like BB, the 80s musical number that was cut from the 1987 adaptation of this movie. The older woman takes her wooden spoon and wraps it. SPOON. Okay.
You would think we were timing this to the script. We haven't read that line. While we're doing this, we're not even looking at the script.
we can see what you can see. Rhythmically against the bars of the old prison. Finn continued.
This is not the time to hide underground. If we take the capital, the galaxy will join us.
An alien joins, then another. Finn continued.
Together, we can strike back.
Yeah.
I got it.
Yeah, we got it, guys. That's a movie we all like, and you just said it, right? The operation's called Rogue One.
I feel like if they had done Together We Can Resist, Together We Can Rise, that would have been like,
Yeah.
Together We Can Resist.
Oh, the First Order messed up when the Force awoke.
You're woke now. The Force awoke me.
It is your density. So hundreds, 10,000s of people clanking their possessions together in unison. Finn stands tall. From traitor to deserter to revolutionary leader, this journey has led to this. Exterior Mortis, Western Cliffs, day. Rey scales the icy peak, blasted by wind and sleet. She reaches a plateau, finds her footing. There are statues of robed ancients here, not Jedi. Mr. Roper, Mr. Furley, dads of past TV sitcoms. A storm of snow dust obscures her vision, voices echo. Suddenly, she's back in the bright, warm sands of the Jakku Desert. Woo-ha! Wind sweeps over the dune.
Jakku Desert, the wildest rock in the galaxy.
She's like sipping a Mai Tai in a beach chair. She's like, what? Where am I? A child's voice screams out. Through the storm of sand, a little girl is dragged away from her mother and father. It's young Rey. At the moment her parents abandon her, the little girl screams, reaching out her hand. Young Rey. Come back! Wait! Rey steps towards them, feet digging in the sand. Rey. Wait! The mother breaks from the father's grasp and runs towards young Rey, but the father holds her back. Father.
No, we can't. It's too dangerous.
The mother relents, calls to her daughter heartbroken. Mother, stay here. Wait for us. We'll come back. Understand? I promise we'll come back. Come on, let's go before those little bitch sees us. Come on, let's go.
Yeah, remember, just let her think we really want her, but just, you know how it goes. You know what I mean?
Hey, you got any money for Crystal? All right, let's go. Come on.
Crystals. That's actually the downfall of the Jedi, is people started snorting that stuff.
Kyber crystals on Jeddah. Let's go to Jakku. I mean, let's go to Jeddah. We went to the wrong.
And they would just levitate, but like an inch off the ground. That's how they got high.
It's like the spice.
Jackie Daytona gets high on Kyber crystals.
It's like a bad Dune ripoff. Like their eyes instead of like glowing blue, they just kind of grow like shitty brown. Just like
someone. This is dumb. Someone on Twitter the other day said, I really feel like the reason like we're not getting excited for Dune is we don't have Mad Magazine anymore, and it should have been called like Dune Ek or something. Mm-hmm. And I love Mad Magazine, so I chimed in. I'm like, I would have called it Dunce.
Dunce.
Yeah, like that would have been my Mad Magazine take on Dune.
Yeah.
Dunce.
I do miss Mad Magazine. I was thinking about this the other day because my kid's like old enough that he's starting to appreciate parody, and I'm like, man, would have been rad to buy him an old or a new Mad Magazine that had stuff he was actually into. But
like, they would have done the Revenant, right? The bear thing with the Revenant.
So young Rey screams. Rey's watery eyes watch her younger self as the ship rises, casting a shadow over them both. The sandstorm kicks up, obscuring them. It turns from yellow sand to snow. I thought it was a yellow snow. I was just like, what? Rey.
That's a weapon in South Park on Nintendo 64, right?
Rey's drunk father pisses himself. This is not the first time.
Liam Neeson's?
Just another normal Sunday on Jakku for Rey. So Rey catches her breath, devastated. Rey, they were afraid. Why were they afraid? No response, only wind. Rey continued. Luke, tell me, why were they afraid? He doesn't answer. She grows furious, screams. Her lightsaber flashes out as she cuts an ancient statue in half. Rey, I just want you to know that was like the MLK of Star Wars, and you just got canceled, you asshole. What were you thinking? It falls, cracks in half. She looks at the temple above, anger burning in her eyes.
Okay, Moment of truth. Did she cut Roper or Farley?
We both know it was Furley.
Yeah. Is it Furley or Farley? It's Furley. My bad.
I think it's Mr. Furley. That's how I always thought it was, but
I always called him Farley for some reason.
Mr. Farley. I think it's Furley, but yeah,
All right.
who knows? Who knows? I was a little kid, so I probably heard it wrong. I still think they're called lifesavers, you know. So who knows? Exterior Mortis, Eastern Forest Day. Kylo hikes through the winter. Glimpses of the temple break through the canopy above. Suddenly the wind dies. There's something ahead. A house in the woods. Smoke from the chimney. It's his younger self, Ben Solo. Approaches the house. He wears all black robes, a hood. This is clearly some kind of force-induced vision, a sign of the planet's strength. Kylo watches from the shadows as Ben nears the house. When he puts his hand on the iron door handle, it opens. Han Solo stands in the doorway. He looks at his son with sadness and fear. Han Solo.
You want to do the Han?
Yeah, I'll be Han and you can be Ben.
Okay.
Han Solo. What are you doing, Ben? Ben.
That's not my name anymore.
Han Solo. Your mother can't see you here. Not like that. Ben pulls his hood down. He's maybe 17. Ben.
I'm not coming back. There's a greater destiny for me.
Han Solo. They're lies, son. Empty promises. You have everything you need right here. Ben.
What? You? Her? My master says I have unequaled power. Neither of you understand.
Han Solo. Your mother understands more than anyone. Ben.
She sent me away.
Han Solo. To learn. To grow. Ben.
I have grown.
Okay, Anakin. Kylo watches Han approach his son, strikingly similar to the confrontation on the catwalk on Starkiller Base. Han Solo, your mother loves you. Ben.
No, she's scared shitless of me.
They say I'm the Chris Chan of Star Wars. I didn't say that.
Oh, no. I'm staying out of that fight. I want nothing to do with it.
Han eyes the lightsaber in Kylo's hand. Han Solo, give me the lightsaber, son. Han reaches for the lightsaber. Ben.
You know I can't.
On the Starkiller Base catwalk, Kylo is back in the moments just before he killed his father. He watches as he plunged the blade through Han Solo, his father's eyes full of love, even as the life drains from him. In the Mortis Eastern Forest, Kylo, disturbed and shaken, alone again in the snow, determined, he takes his first steps up the mountain. Cut to exterior.
All right, so
Yeah.
1 second. So first off, when this script hits 88,
Oh, right.
that's what we're on. So what they're saying is
shit.
What they're saying is the reason why Han stood there and got ganked was that they were both having like a flashback in a way too. They had a very exact similar moment, right?
Yeah.
When Ben left home, kind of a thing.
Yeah. That it was, I think, essentially explaining why Solo did what he did the way he did it. Maybe.
What do you think? Good, better idea or worse idea?
I will say this one has context. Like, I knew that Ford was going to be back for this film super early, even before JJ came on. And I wasn't, and then when this change happened, I didn't know if that was still on. And because I already knew, I was able to get it from people at Pinewood pretty easily and get it confirmed that he was in fact back and all that stuff. And I struggled with that scoop because I'm like, how is this happening? What is the context? And a source who told me oh my God, you can't believe this shit stuff, told me at one point Luke Skywalker had a role in that moment. And when we get the final cut, Luke has no role in the moment. It's just a weird thing that you have to chalk up to shit's magical, and I could roll with it to some extent.
I feel like that would be on the box of the Rise of Skywalker cereal. Shit's magical.
I have a feeling that's all they wrote in that fucking script, because at times they're just like, what are you, there's no explanation for this really. And I have looked at various drafts of that script, and it was always like, what, anyways, so when we get to this moment, at least here we have like Mortis, we have sort of like a connection almost to the afterworld. It's a place where the Force is so organically strong that Qui-Gon Jinn is able to manifest himself as a Force ghost to Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Obi-Wan doesn't know if it's real or not, but it's what lets Obi-Wan know, oh shit, there's something to this, this can happen. It's a confidence building moment for Kenobi. And so Han Solo showing up in this place is completely, this is the Skinwalker Ranch of Star Wars. So it's fine. You know what I mean? It's like, okay.
That's just where I run around naked on the ranch.
that was George Lucas's original name for Skywalker Ranch, was Skinwalker Ranch.
Yeah. Well, Steven and I, it was originally Ambient Entertainment.
I'm recently divorced, and I want to make a place for young singles ready to mingle.
Commune sant. Commune chorus. Commune.
But yeah. So
I like the setting a lot. I like this idea, and I think giving that scene some context that is not a bad idea at all. I don't care too much for the dialogue,
Yeah, which is, I guess, what we could almost cut out of like the analysis, except for when it's hilarious, because it's like the dialogue just is not good throughout this whole draft. And I can confirm that it doesn't really get much better in the second draft. And I just felt like the second draft actually doesn't get better in general. But I will say, I feel like these guys were writing a better sequel to 7 and 8 than what we got. And in
by a long margin, bro.
In the end, I think it probably would have been a lesser quality film in terms of the way it was made, but probably a better ending to 7 and 8 in some ways. And that's what I always struggle with when I think about these Star Wars films, is like, do we just judge it by itself, or do we judge it in context of the larger saga? You know what I mean? And like, do you judge the prequels by the movies of the 90s? Because honestly, when I look back at the movies of the 90s, for the most part, if they're not like Quentin Tarantino, Robert Rodriguez style 90s gangster style movies, I don't really think they're very good overall. Fantasy didn't really do it for me. I don't really like Independence Day. I don't really truly think The Matrix is that great of a trilogy either. And so
the first film
was cool. Yeah. But anyways, like, so when I judge the prequels, I usually judge them by the in context of the films of their day. But this one, it's like, it's a hard thing to judge because it never happened. We're able to perfectly direct it in our mind or not. And it just makes me go like, I wish these guys and Lucasfilm had found a way to work together better. I wish they had brought in that the guy, I can't remember his name right now, who wrote the next draft, who wrote the draft after their second draft. I wish they had him develop this into a new draft, and that they could have met in the middle a little bit more, instead of going back to JJ, because God, there's so many things. I will say that there's so many things I love in episode 9 that was released, but that I also find in here. And I find that the Skywalker saga itself is better in the Abrams story. The Rey story is better in the Abrams story overall. But the Finn story is so much stronger here. The Finn story is really good. The Poe Dameron story sucks. whereas the Poe Dameron story is messy but better in the released version. So it's like I don't really find it to be as clear cut as I maybe even have made it sound in the past. I think it's really
Yeah, I think of when the Game of Thrones dudes were
Yeah.
like announced to be working on something that they then backed out of for money.
Mhm.
And people were complaining, like they're gonna put rape in Star Wars. Like, no, they're not.
Yeah.
But I feel like reading this, the Game of Thrones dudes way better.
Yeah.
Like I don't think they would have. They even like their episodes of Game of Thrones. If you didn't like them, they're better than most TV shows, man.
Right.
Like, yeah, I get it. It's not as good as what J.R.R. Martin would write. By the way, J.R.R. Martin didn't write a lot of. It took him a long time to become a great writer. He wrote a lot of other books other than Game of Thrones. They're not memorable,
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, like it took him a long time to get there. So, but I just think like they would not put things like I'm good with calculation and I'm good with the numbers. Like I just don't see them doing that. And I'm like, do you think too, like with the first draft, this is just them laying something out just to get it done, and they know none of this stuff is gonna survive? Like the dialogue specifically is something that will just go through a revision or two, or do you think that Trevorrow and was it Connolly who wrote this, or
Derek Connolly, I believe.
Derek Connolly? Do you think like they were expecting changes to maybe beats or specific things, but that this would stick? Like I don't know. Like
I don't know that much about their process overall to make like a concrete statement, but I do feel like on your first draft, I think like most writers, it's about getting the page filled up, and then then you start chiseling it out in revisions. And a lot of the stuff I feel like in here is like that, and I feel like they must have decided every time there was a callback that could be made, let's just write it down.
let's strike back.
Yeah, but like let's just write it down, and then we'll trim it out later and keep the good ones. That's what I want to. That's what I want to think they're.
Let's be a caravan of courage.
Yeah. Look over there! It's an Ewok adventure. They're watching the victory. Yeah.
This isn't a holiday special. Let's get moving, guys.
I mean, they even fucking mentioned the holiday special. They mentioned Life Day with Rose. Rose mentioned Life Day. Yeah, they even did that. It's like you don't got to flex your Star Wars credibility, if that even counts. But yeah. So once again, like they never got to make this a finished thing, so it's always kind of unfair to criticize them to some extent. But also, this does exist as what it is, and that's what we're doing. So empty, silent. R2 and 3PO emerge from a side street. Two small figures swallowed by the desolate urban landscape. R2 beeps.
Beep bop boop.
C3PO. I agree. This isn't the Coruscant I remember. A shadow falls over them both. A towering ATMT, an ATMAT, as we call it in the 80s, walker, rounds onto the boulevard. They watch it pass, dwarfed by it. It stops, a smoking, charred First Order tank in its path. C3PO and R2-D2 look on, curious. Interior ATMT walker, cockpit day. The ATMT pilots look down at the burning tank. ATMT pilot, any life forms?
Yo, any life forms?
ATMT co-pilot, nope. So, interior abandoned building, simultaneous. Finn and 100 People's Resistance Fighters. Is that what they're called? The People's Resistance Fighters now? Hunker down.
The peeps.
We are the People's Resistance. And
it's just me and my peeps.
It sounds weird. Hunker down inside this empty building. The ATMT's head is positioned just below them outside. Finn?
Now!
Floor-mounted grappling guns fire hooks that stick into the opposite building, creating several zip lines over the ATMT. Finn clips on a carabiner. Is that said carabiner or carabiner?
Carabiner.
Carabiner.
That sounds like a Star Wars name, Carabiner.
Hi, I'm
Like-
Cara Biner, Cara Dune's new replacement in episode season 3 of The Mandalorian.
The non-binary. I can't even joke about
yeah,
that. But
yeah.
am I going to get canceled if I even make a joke?
I am non-binary, very woke, and I will be your friend on Twitter. If you're wondering what my pronouns are, just look at my bio in twitter.com. And she's played by Kathleen Kennedy as Star Wars Big suggested on Santa's show.
It almost look, if you weren't so fucking talented, I would say that was written down. That's very clever, buddy.
Hey,
Hola, hola, hola.
how's it going, dude?
That's Carabiner.
We all just made it back from Great Wolf Lodge.
Oh, nice. Welcome home. All right, you ready to get into this for a few minutes?
Let's do it.
We got about 30 minutes left.
All right, cool.
Exterior Coruscant Streets Day. 20 resistance fighters swing onto the AMT like pirates boarding a ship. Finn drops onto the top of the ATMT's body. Dozens more land beside him. They run along its back to the head. A resistance fighter cuts through the hatch with a vibrasaw. Finn tosses a shock detonator inside. Finn?
Suck it. Oh, sorry. Clear.
An electric flash within. The pilots slump over the controls. Finn drops in, pushes the pilots aside, takes the helm. A familiar
This is the point in a Star Wars thing where I'm like, wouldn't they just all like blow up into pieces and then you climb there and just kind of like slosh their legs? Like whenever they drop a bomb into something, the bodies don't ever explode in Star Wars, right? Like,
yeah. When I read the electric flash stuff, I almost wonder if it's almost like an effect similar to Jar Jar's blue balls that he throws.
Plasma balls?
Yeah.
Or like the Bad Batch when they just stun everyone over and over again.
Yeah, like a shock kind of thing. But the pilots slump over the controls. Finn drops in, pushes the pilots aside, takes the helm. A familiar alien, Six Eyes, takes the co-pilot seat.
Good old Six Eyes.
I think it's that alien from Solo: A Star Wars Story with the animatronic eyes. Probably.
Oh yeah.
Six Eyes.
So Finn continued.
Load up.
The side panels of the walker slide open, allowing the resistance fighters to rappel into the cavity. More armed citizens pour out of the alley to escort the steel beast as it walks down the boulevard, knocking aside the flip tank as it passes. A pair of TIE choppers zip across the border. They square off against the ATMT. Get to the choppers! The walkers blast them out of the sky.
Oh, so when he threw that little bomb in there and it went flash and they all... I would have done it when he drops the bomb. They both fly out the window, each of the ATM, and then there's no one in there, right?
I would have made it a bomb that destroys your clothes but not your helmet, so they're just naked and they like cross their legs and arms, and then they like sneak off like around the corner.
He defeats them with shame.
Take that with you.
Interior Capitol Inquisition Chamber hallway night. Hux paces. In the next room, Rose screams in pain between electric jabs and shocks.
Hurts.
Commander Tom Selleck.
Go ahead, Ron.
Yeah, I think
There's been an insurrection. Word has spread to other districts.
Chancellor Hux.
Decimate them.
Commander Tom Selleck.
Sir, the leader is a former FN unit. He was aided by a regiment of our own.
Hux twitches.
Like Bugs Bunny.
Yeah. Chancellor Hux.
Impossible.
Commander Selleck.
Dispatching emotional units to address the revolt.
Chancellor Hux.
No. Recall the FN units from active duty.
Commander Selleck.
Sir?
Chancellor Hux.
If there is a flaw in the programming, we must correct it. Deploy the brute troopers.
Commander Tom Selleck.
Those mercenaries are undisciplined and expensive.
Chancellor Hux.
They're the Uber of troopers. No. Perhaps money is all that inspires loyalty anymore. Do it.
Man, he's like
Expensive.
they're expensive. Those are the expensive ones, dude.
That's such a Spaceballs moment. Hold on, the budget says that we can only afford the little troopers, LIL troopers. Like,
Sir, you told me if you go over your budget, I'm supposed to tell you. Okay.
what are you, Gary Cutts? Get the troopers!
More troopers.
Interior Capitol Interrogation Chamber day. Rose's eyes are sunken, clothes ripped, blood peeking through the torn fabric. She hears commotion in the ocean, the barking of orders. 2 officers enter in a hurry. First order officers.
We're going to transfer you to cell block 6. They want her in maximum security.
One officer releases her from the rack. She slumps forward, dead weight. They drag her towards the door. As they move, Rose opens her eyes, eyeing the electric taser on the officer's helmet.
I'm sorry, guys, man. That's her move is shock 'em. She just gave, you gave her cattle prod, man. That's her fucking move. Like,
and then at the very end, like Kylo is about to kill Rey, and she goes for the prod. She doesn't have it, so then she lifts her hand up and she splits her fingers in the salute, and shockers. All right. Anyway.
See, I imagine she's the one who would turn to the dark side, because when she finds out she can shoot electricity from her fingers, she's like, what?
So she eyes the taser. When they reach the door, she hits the lights. She grabs the taser, shocks them both, clamps both their wrists to the iron shackles. Rose
So long, boys.
Rose shuts the door behind her, leaving the 2 unconscious officers in here alone. I feel like this scene would have been cut, honestly.
How did you get the lights?
Exterior, Imperial Boulevard, day. The AT-MT turns the corner onto Imperial Boulevard. Inside, Finn strokes.
That's your dream, buddy.
Inside, Vin Stokes revolts via loudspeaker. Finn, into comm.
We will no longer live in silence. Gather your weapons. Rise up. They did it. Strike back.
He's saying it again. Finn squints out the window at a gold droid wandering among the cheering revolutionaries, unsure how he got here. Finn continued.
3PO.
Finn climbs out the AT-MT hatch for a better look. Suddenly, he's yanked upwards. A brute trooper lifts him out of the hatch and throws him onto the back of the walker. Finn is locked in a fistfight on the back of a moving walker 50 feet off the ground. Finn takes brutal hits from the brute trooper's steel gloves. It's like fighting. Yeah, it's so bad. It's like fighting a medieval knight with his bare hands. A powerful tackle as they both roll off the edge of the moving walker. Slam! They land on the brute trooper's back. He keeps fighting unharmed. They look into one another's eyes and kiss. Finn spots the walker's foot coming down on them. They roll away just as it lands. The brute trooper grabs a fallen blaster, puts a heavy foot on his chest, aims for Finn's heart.
You're breaking my heart.
Brute trooper.
Last words, FN 2187.
Suddenly, laser fire takes him out. Finn looks up at a unit of stormtroopers. The leader takes off his helmet, extends his hand. It's RK-514. He lifts Finn to his feet, hands him a blaster. RK-5114. Rafe. Finn.
I like it.
The other stormtroopers take off their helmets and throw them aside. Diverse faces with a new purpose. They all say their names. I'm Jerry. I'm Stu. They call me Stooby Gutter.
Last name Pedasso.
I'm Hillary Chillington. These all like really bad political names.
I'm Butt.
Freedom. Interior, Eclipse, Destroyer, Bridge, Space. Connix escorts Leia to a terminal. Connix.
The message is from a first order transmitter. Finn is alive. He has an army ready to storm the Capitol. They need reinforcements.
Leia.
All we have is what's on this ship. You can't win a war with 100 pilots.
Poe.
What's one?
Chewbacca. Roof! Which translates to 101. Okay, Poe continued.
Sorry, +2.
Excuse me, 102. BB-8 beeps. Poe continued.
Okay, I get it.
Leia's face falls from relief to dread. Leia.
She read the script.
Here's Ray.
Poe.
She went on alone. Her choice, not mine. What about the others? Like he's covering his ass. Look, I ain't coming with this stupid plan.
Tell that girl what to do.
Listen, Weez was about to bone, and then she put the Jedi mind trick on me, and that's all I remember.
You know, it's like when you lost your keys and you immediately blame your wife, right? I didn't put them there.
Where did you put your keys? Well, what did you do with them? So,
I always do the same thing. I always put them right here.
they're always in my pocket. They go right here on the table. Poe. Wait.
No,
Right
you're on
back.
Leia. We lost contact.
Leia.
We lost contact with Rose.
BB-8 beat sadly.
Finn is alive. He says he has an army on the ground.
I will say, I feel like Leia right here should have commented that, like, something like, cool, he has 1,000 on-train fighters. What does that really amount to? I think there should have been. I think there should have been.
Carrie Fisher, like, yeah.
Yeah.
You
I
know?
think there should have been something like it. And then they should have been the ones who were like, it amounts to all we got. And then it works. You know what I mean? Leia, sure, she's all about hope and stuff like that. But this is the new generation. She should, after all of the shit she's been through, maybe at times, you know, they could have taught her.
Also, like a way to take accountability, Poe. Like, you're such the leader. You're like, I didn't say that shit. Like,
yeah.
You know, like, what a leader.
Well, because I mean, like that is one of my criticisms of the sequel trilogy in certain ways, is that while the old people did teach the kids didn't really teach them very much, except for in the instance of Luke and Rey, which is the important one, and that's one of the reasons why I give Rian Johnson a lot of credit on the reciprocity of the characters' arcs in that way. But anyways, Poe.
Then we put our pilots in the sky and back them up.
Offer look.
What? This is what we've been waiting for. If we take the Capitol, we can destroy it. Take the Capitol.
If we take the Capitol, we can stop this still.
We can destroy that jammer and call the galaxy to the wars.
Yeah. So we can destroy the jammer and call the galaxy to war. Okay.
Yeah.
And then he's like, and I ain't wearing a mask. Leia.
They'll kill millions. I've seen it. It's too reckless.
Okay, well, there it kind of is. Kind of. Poe.
Resistance is reckless. Passion is the greatest weapon we got.
And then he kisses Leia passionately.
MILF.
How do you get any better than that?
Right? It's like, they're going to call you MILF Skywalker. Poe appeals to Leia. Their history together laid bare. Poe continued.
The rebels fought the Empire and won. You showed us it could be done. That was your war. This is our war. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. See, it goes there, but it's so heavy-handed.
Speaking of Corey Feldman.
Yeah, no, and like this dialogue, I guess you could say Poe is just wrong. But I mean, Leia has been there with them doing all of this. It's not like Leia's been hanging out in Coruscant in a high rise. Like, she's been in the fucking trenches with them the whole entire time.
Literally, in the first scene she appears in The Force Awakens, she drops right onto the battlefield.
And she's there before him. She's the one, they bring him in. So that's where I'm a little bit like, yeah, you know, but okay, whatever. Leia looks at the Resistance fleet, young, ready. Leia.
Set a course for Coruscant. Ready all weapons and attack ships. This is a full assault.
Oh, shit. Okay. Interior Eclipse Destroyer docking base space. Resistance soldiers load into the transports. Pilots lower their droids into place. Urban assault vehicles roll into the open cargo.
SUVs with flags.
Yeah. Blue Lives Matter flags. I'm sorry. The holds of massive heavy transports. Exterior.
Brute lives matter in this case, buddy.
Brute lives. The Eclipse tacks towards a distant point. The hyperdrive fires, rocketing the massive craft into deep space. Cut to the cheese. Exterior Temple of Mortis Day. Kylo Ren ascends to the steps to a sealed stone door. The temple is cut into the mountaintop. Uninterpretable carvings, runes, and statues allude to civilization and knowledge long lost. He reaches out. The door bends to his will and opens. A millennium of dust spills from its cracks. But he does not enter. He knows he's not alone. Kylo.
I knew you'd come.
That's what she said. Kylo turns to face
eventually, if you just stick with it, it's bound to happen, right? Like if you spell the alphabet like Andrew Dice, was it Dice or was it the guy from Back to School? It was the guy from Back to School. He said if you spell the alphabet eventually.
Sorry, thinking about baseball. Kylo turns to face Rey. His mask surprises her. She's only seen the projection of his mask surprises her. He was always anti-vaccination. But now it seems, she's only seen the projection of his ideal self and their connections, not this. Kylo continued.
The Force is strong in this place. Can you feel it?
Can you feel it? A low rumble. She's digging into his mind. Rey.
You're in pain. Beneath that mask.
Kylo.
Yeah, no shit. Get out of my head. You won't like what you'll find.
Oh, shit. Oh, man, it's getting weird. He force pushes her back. Her feet slide back a few inches, but she withstands it steadfast. Kylo continued.
I'm stronger than Anakin Skywalker. Stronger than his son.
Rey.
But you're still afraid.
Kylo.
What? You?
Rey.
Of what you've become, a monster. The dark side has left you empty, alone, penniless.
Kylo.
Yeah, I don't have to be alone. With the power of this place, we could rule the galaxy like the ancients did. The dark side and the light.
God. Okay, we'll read this one. Rey.
You still think I'd join you after what you did to my family?
So, once again, I hate this concept when they straight out think that it was like an evil person, a dark, and like people they just like teamed up, got along, and it makes sense. Like it literally is the opposite of what the prequels are saying. Like it's for as many callbacks and shit that the script pretends to have right. This just literally shits the bed. Just to be, straight up. All right. Kylo falters a bit. Rey continued.
Were you going to tell me here? Weaken me with the truth? I know what you did. Deep down, I've always known.
She circles him like a lion. Rey continued.
My parents didn't sell me for drinking money. They were hiding me from you.
Kylo.
Oh, so you do remember.
Flash to the Knights of Ren in the rain. The image from Rey's Force vision when she first touched the lightsaber. A distant child screams. Kylo continued.
Yeah, well, Snoke made his orders clear. Find anyone who could destroy him. It didn't take us long to find your sorry ass.
But I didn't know you were going to grow up to be super hot, or I probably would have been.
Yeah, I totally screwed the pooch on that one. I didn't really think ahead. I wasn't playing chess at the time, just shoots and ladders.
That's why I got swole.
Yeah, pretty swole now.
Rey.
You killed my parents, you arsehole.
Kylo.
You blame me for your life on Jakku? Well, you should thank me for it. You were safe.
Ray,
Say it. Did you kill them?
Kylo.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I did it. I did it. A blast of powerful energy explodes around her, clearing the temple of loose rock. Ray,
You murdered Han Solo.
Kylo.
I'm not here for you, Ray.
Because that would be kind of funny. He's like, you killed my parents. He's like, I killed mine too. So fucking what? Come on.
Yeah, I kill all the parents. That's why I'm known to all the Jawas. They know me as the parent killer. First they like Suka, and then they like me. I'm the second best.
I've never met an in-law in my life.
My name is Kylo Ren. Fuck baby boomers.
Sorry. So, Ray,
Then you'll have all millions of people.
Kylo.
All I want is what's behind that door.
And then it's like, dun 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 dun.
A new car.
This new car with all the amenities, air conditioning, and a CD player.
Thank you, Roddy.
Ray ignites her dual saber. Ray.
Then you'll have to kill me.
Kylo lights his own saber. Kylo.
Oh, I know.
Ooh, it's Han Solo. That was the honestly, if this was the callback moment and there was that I know, that would have been badass. If that's supposed to be a callback. That's supposed to be a callback? I think so.
If it was the only one,
yeah,
it would make sense, right?
But that's a good one.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah.
And it's a opposite, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, God, like, you know, like that moment could have been really strong in episode 9 between Kylo and Han too, in a weird way.
You can write this stuff, Trevorrow, but you can't say it.
Kylo
It's another shitty callback is George's dialogue.
However you called him an entertainer.
Kylo attacks. They clash on the steps of the temple, both far more powerful than the last time they met. One of these two will not survive. So yeah.
Kind of reminds me of in the Gandhi cartoon, that second season, there was that whole like Anakin at the temple where he got really ripped and righted on glyphs. It was like the Rendlesham Forest.
Yeah.
He sees these glyphs and gets all righted out and then has a vision.
Yeah, I am going to suggest, if you get in the mood to watch something of Star Wars, that you watch the Mortis arc and the Yoda arc of Clone Wars, because it is informing what this visually looks like and what's going on in a weird way. One of the things I like about this is I feel like a lot is lost if you don't know that stuff. A lot of the implications that are working for me are because I know that. And I have a feeling this would have been great for the Clone Wars, but it would have, it probably wouldn't have, it would have been lost on some people, exactly what this stuff is and why it's maybe cool.
Do you think there's a way where what are the odds that Lucasfilm and Disney will make an animated series that is taking place between the sequel films that is Rey and Poe and them, that, you know what I mean? That gives like the Clone Wars gave everyone all this context for stuff we didn't see in the movies.
Right. Yeah.
They'll do the same thing.
I mean, I've always felt that making episode 10, 11, 12 is going to happen. It's an eventuality. And like one of the questions that Lucasfilm probably is or needs to or has dealt with is the concept of what might that be? Where are we probably going to start that? Because it would be really awesome to get the further adventures of Rey, Finn, and Poe in an animated show that was well done, like the Clone Wars was, or Bad Batch is, and to pick up the whole Jedi stuff and all of the stuff that might be like, oh, that's cool, might be a little cringy on screen, maybe, you know, you could do all that stuff there. And I
feel they need to, though. Like, I really, I mean, the more I think about it, like, if they want these characters in this era to have a legacy, and they need its equivalent of the Clone Wars, whether it takes place between the sequel films or immediately right after, 9, so it's the bridge to 10, that they need to do it.
Yeah. I'm with you both. Like I think setting it after would be the way to do it if they weren't committed to picking up 10, 11, and 12 with those characters.
It just doesn't seem that like characters like Finn, especially like Finn and even Post, is there's not that much of a following. There's you go online, you look for the characters if you want to buy the figures and stuff. Those are the most available ones out there.
Are they?
Yeah, I couldn't sell a Finn figure to save my life.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm just hearing it in like Rick's voice. So.
I gotta save my life. But yeah, it's got it. They have to give these characters some more legs to keep going and to keep them fresh in the people's minds. And if it does happen in that fashion, then great.
Right.
I also feel like they can do 10, 11, 12 with these characters. Just do them 20 years from now.
Yeah.
So if you do a series that gets you there, those movies are set up with a ton of backstory before, and a bunch of kids who grew up with it, so that they'll grow up with it and then be that age where they're able to have purchasing power when the new movies come out. Does that make sense? Like do the prequels now as an animated series.
It'd be like us for the prequels when we started. Jason and myself, we started having purchasing powers because we were into the working world.
Did he cut out?
Yeah, we just lost you for a second. But Star Wars Santa said, "Did you say commotion in the ocean?" That would have. Do you know what that would have become on my live stream? Oh yeah. Oh, it was
a motion of explosion.
Where's Star Wars made to turn this into something inappropriate? I think she comes here and she goes, you know what? They got that one covered. and she bounces.
Yeah, she definitely plays the straighter lace, to our wildness, like it's funny.
But thank you, Mr. Maximus. He said happy birthday to me in case you're listening to the podcast version.
It's your birthday today?
Yeah, today's my birthday. I'm an old man.
Oh, you're like 42 now?
42. 1942.
You went right out there and just
oh shit. So having any erectile dysfunction yet?
How's that thyroid?
Don't worry about it. I'm a year ahead of you.
Ace Nemec says this is just two guys doing stand-up while reading. Thank you.
This is stand-up
from the green room.
Yeah, it's like shitty open mic with the script, right? Like we know we should do that, Jason. We should do if I post Pandy ever make it to LA, we should go to open night and just read from this script.
We're like bombing, but we think we're funny. Rich Julian Nash says, "Great fun. Keep up the good work, guys." Darth Maximus is laughing, and Sir Marshall says, "I just want Finn front and center. Personally, I'd like to see that character get his shine with the post episode 9 run." Yeah, we are with you. It says mostly because he had so much potential, got canned in a roundabout way beyond episode 7, and and I think pretty much everybody, including Boyega himself, agrees. And I feel like the romance between Finn and Rey was also cut from episode 9 from The Rise of Skywalker, and they added the whole Force thing. I think that was Abrams throwing him a bone. Like, I am so sorry that we didn't do your character justice. And this gives you the potential future and probably a really badass bargaining chip for a future deal. And I got a feeling that's what that was. I could be reading into it like some of those guys on the internet tend to do about shit that ain't there, but that seems to make sense to me.
So the arc that I always saw it was in 7 he leaves his friends, right?
Yeah.
Right. He the First Order, he leaves it, and in 8 he fights them and realizes that he has to murder his friends to save the galaxy, and it's a conundrum, Right. And in 9, he turns, like he spends the time between 8 and 9 turning, his friends to the other side to fight the First Order, like.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. There was stuff cut from 9 with that. What's that big actor's name? God, I had a scoop on it, but he actually like walks up and slaps him on when he's in the Imperial officer's outfit. He walks up and slaps. No, in episode 8.
Episode 8.
It was Snape. He just hits him with the book.
He's in the movie, but he's basically in the cutscene. He's in episode 8. He's a big actor. He's like an action guy. I'm trying to remember. He's like a action star. Anyways, it's one of those groups that I had, and he slaps him on the ass.
Jason Statham.
No, and Finn's like, "Oh shit." And then he's like, FN 2187, how you been, man? Like, kind of thing. Because he like,
Daniel Craig. Was it Daniel Craig?
No, I had Daniel Craig.
He was a trooper in 7.
He was a trooper in 7.
Yeah, I actually was so nervous about that one. I just snuck that one into a random line in a story about a set piece, and nobody noticed. And I had that one. And then later on, I found out everybody really cares about hearing that shit. And then I got that one really horrible. I don't know if he's horrible, but I don't like his music. That British singer, but that looks like
Robbie Williams,
like a fucking Weasley kid.
the kid from Game of Thrones.
Tom Hardy. That's who I was trying to remember. Thank you, Mr. Marshall.
I'm Bane from space.
Oh, and
Bane.
Mr. Marshall, Frank.
Yes.
I'll save the scoop until a couple days. I promise.
I smack Finn on the ass.
But yeah. So like you can tell like that stuff was always there. There was always that intention to play with those notes, so to speak, but they just never get to it. Right. Oh, and Mr. Lopez says he was also born in Shakedown 1979.
Right. So if they had done that arc where then he turns his friend, then post 9, his arc is then to build a good army, which is an army of Jedi to help keep peace versus,
yeah,
like there's a total arc there that is the most, and for my money, the most compelling arc, right? Because it's one we haven't, and it's the one that George is. I don't mean to cut you off there. Just the one that George always says where anyone can be turned, right? Anyone can save.
Yeah, it's never. That's the end of the Green Knight. It's never too late to die with honor. But anyways,
we need to talk about that movie. So.
We do. Yeah. Whenever you are free, let's definitely do a Green Knight. Have you seen Green Knight, Jesse? By any chance?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
If you see it and you feel compelled by the time we do it, you're welcome to come and talk with us about it. But if it doesn't happen before then, by some weird chance. But I love that movie, by the way. But I have to go pick up my kids from school, and we are on about page 100 of the script, page 100 of the PDF anyways. So we will probably be finishing in the next day or two, I'd say. And I will then probably end up editing this all together into one video and putting it up, without
omnibus. We finally get an omnibus. I've always wanted an omnibus.
That is the plan. If my shit could handle it, that is the plan. But I want to thank everybody for hanging out with us today. Mr. Thronkeel for showing up even at the last minute after a drive home, and for Sketchcraft for sketching some of the comedy shenanigans of the day, and
for ruining the whole thing.
Hey, depends on who you ask, because it makes my day. But and you can become a channel member on youtube.com if you want to support the channel so I could continue making this shit. And you could become a Patreon supporter if you would rather have the stuff in audio, because our beautiful faces just get you too excited. Hey, there's my boy. What's up, man? I'll see you tonight on Fortnite. We're gonna blow some stuff up. Sorry.
Omega's blaster.
Nerfo.
Nice. Tell him I missed the boom bows in Fortnite. There were good times for me.
Oh, here, hold on.
I missed those boom bows. I need the boom bows to come back. But anyways, so you can become a Patreon supporter. You can support the channel on YouTube. And I have to go, or my kids will officially be orphans all by themselves at school, wondering, Daddy, where did you go?
I killed him. That's what I did. I killed your parents too, and I'm going to kill your parents and all the parents.
If they ask, Kylo did it.
Me and the parents.
It's not about spaceships.
The Duel of the Fates. The Duel of the Fates.
It's not about spaceships.